Lake Dolores Waterpark was a water park in Newberry Springs, California that opened in 1962. Thank you for your suggestion.
Lake Dolores, the magical water world that features the most exciting high-speed water slides. The family fun place that offers relaxation and incredible thrills just off the I-15 Las Vegas freeway near Barstow. Call now for special rates. Glide down the 200-foot water slides, up to 50 miles an hour. Good, clean, safe fun. A thrill a second. Bring the kids, picnic, camp overnight. Fly the giant swings at Lake Dolores. The magical water world that guarantees.
The 251-acre Mojave Desert Park was first built in 1962 by local businessman John B. Byers. He named it after his wife Dolores, Lake Dolores Waterpark. Construction started in the late 1950s. Since the property sat atop the Mojave Aquifer, there was no issue acquiring an ample water supply. Bob would create a lake and other fun water-themed activities for his family. Yep. Bob's dream for a liquid playground would only benefit his relatives and closest friends. The initial phases of conception, planning, and construction took place in the late 1950s and early 1960s on this desert oasis, an expanse of the arid land on the eastern edge of the Mojave Desert, 100 yards from the Interstate 15, was chosen for the project. The area contained underground springs fed by the Mojave Aquifer. Lake Dolores, the body of water, was a 273-acre man-made lake fed by the natural springs. In May of 1962, he built a small campground for the public. People who loved water, riding motorbikes across the desert, or just enjoying a Mojave nightscape descended on the place, as well as people traveling on Interstate 15 between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, gave the campground some business. Over the next 25 years, rides and attractions were added and the site evolved into a water park, which was advertised on television with the slogan, "The Fun Spot of the Desert." The park featured 8 identical 150-foot 60-degree angle steel water slides mounted side by side on a man-made hill. Riders rode on small plastic floaties which skimmed 40 to 50 yards across the lagoon when they hit the water at the slide's end. Nearby were 2 V-shaped water slides, also roughly 150 feet long, which was ridden standing up. The slides ended with about 15 feet above the water, shooting the standing rider out of the end of it like a human cannonball. On the zipcord ride, riders hung from a handheld device attached to a guide wire for approximately 200 feet at a 30-degree downward angle. At the end of this wire, the hand grip would slam into a blocking mechanism and come to a stop above 20 feet above the water, with the momentum thrusting the hanging rider 20 feet forward into the lagoon. In the middle of the small adjacent lake were 3 high diving boards and 3 trapeze-like swings hanging from an A-frame structure, mounted on a 20-foot high platform. Riders launched themselves from these swings into the lake. Lake Dolores also had a lazy river, bumper boats, and even a go-kart track. The park saw its peak attendance between 1970 and 1980. However, as family-friendly Vegas flourished and Wet n Wild opened on the Strip in 1985, business declined and Lake Dolores Resort was forced to close due to legal and financial troubles. Bob sold the park to investors in August of 1990. The new investors made plans to reopen the water park. One of the investors, Terry Christensen, was a former Marine and general contractor who'd built 4 water parks for other businessmen and decided it was time for his own, a 1950s-themed water park. In 1995, the original water slides on the hill were removed to make room for new installations and renovations began. On July 4th, 1998, the park reopened under a new name, Lake Dolores Rockahula Water Park, with the world's largest family raft ride at the time, they claimed. On June 26, 1999, Insomniac Events held the annual Electric Daisy Carnival, EDC, an all-night rave at the water park. It was expected to attract 5,000 people, but ended up welcoming an estimated 10,000 people. This turnout inspired promoters to request to host Nocturnal Wonderland with an estimated 20,000 attendees. However, the San Bernardino County's Board of Supervisors denied the permit. Shortly after, James Mason, a 23-year-old employee, decided it was a good idea to use one of the slides after hours. He crashed into a barrier at the end of the water slide, which rendered him a paraplegic. The accident was awarded $4.4 million in damages, and the park filed for bankruptcy in the year 2000. After failing to find a buyer, the bankruptcy judge returned the property back to Dolores buyers. It last opened in 2002 as a Discovery Water Park for only about 2 years. When it closed in 2004, the slides were sold off to other parks, while the other structures were left to crumble. The abandoned aesthetic made it an attractive filming location, and it was featured in Top Gear Season 5 in 2014, and a Tony Hawk commercial in 2015. Dirt, overgrown trees, barren stretches of land, graffiti, spray paint cans, and litter mark the site. Barbed wire and chain link fence around the property needs repair. 3 separate attempts have been made to launch a park in the location. The location is private property, but urban explorers have documented ventures into the property for years. It has since traded hands twice between investors, last selling for $1.5 million in 2013, and the owners seem to be set on reviving the property. Problems? We have no issues here. The resort is still in the planning stages and leadership being looked into very closely. Be ready, Lake Dolores staff wrote on Facebook in September of 2016. In March of 2019, they wrote, "We will once again rise above the tiny grains of sand and once again become the oasis in the middle of the desert." But on August 2, 2021, G&GF Enterprises LLC listed the property for $11 million. The San Bernardino Assessor's Office values it at $1.25 million. A proposed 5-phase development plans include a lake resort, camping grounds, a restored and upgraded water park, public services such as water and sewer treatment plants, fire protection, library, museum, amphitheater, and commercial retail with hotel, restaurants, gas station, and a food court? One observer noted, "It's so damaged it's hard to imagine making any functional use of the structures and remains of the old water park that are still standing. The potential buyer would have the water rights and permission to develop the property for any commercial use." So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.
Bringing back memories from the good old days. That's super cool, man.